Hi guys, and welcome to RTX Pinball. This is the Pinball Post, episode 30. Welcome everybody. We got a ton to talk about this week. Whether that's a good show or not, that'll be entirely up to you, but we got a lot of big topics to talk about, such as Pokemon. We all know that's coming. It's pretty obvious. We need to talk about Alex, Flipper Friends, some AI slop, and of course some one ball for greatness in the daily grind competition. So we got lots to talk about as always. Welcome everybody in the chat. Pinball Wizard, my moderator, one of my closest pinball compatriots, and Leon Spiegel, who is the ever-present. Leon, welcome being here. Good to have you here, man. I got lots to talk about tonight. So, as always, we like to we'll start with the real pinball news so that people can jump in, watch what they want to see with that, and then they can drop off if they don't want to deal with all the digital hullabaloo. So we'll start that at first. Wingo, welcome, and Skulljo, Lord Skylar, greetings. Yeah, we got all kinds of people in here already, so that's good to see. We'll get started. You can see I got lots of different topics. Well, actually, you can't see because I haven't got them shown, but I got a lot of different topics to cover in the next few weeks, including customer service is something that's going to be coming up. I still want to talk about 2025 and some of the games that came out. I want to do a tier list for some of that stuff. And then, as always, we always have is AtGame still in business? Yes, very much. They are in fact in business. A Parlay. And thank you for being here, man. You're going to see that they're very much in business. They got lots of games coming out this year. And we got a lot more. We got hopefully some more stuff coming very soon that everybody will be very excited about. So let's get into the biggest news of the day. So the first thing is Pokemon. So this was the first little bit of reveal that we got from Stern. This was a cheesy little video that came out, and it literally revealed nothing. This was the bulk of it right here. You have a pinball going down a corridor that turns yellow, and you get a flash of Pokemon, and that is it from Stern. So that is what I officially have from Pokemon. First of all, I know I've asked this before, but who's excited for Pokemon in Stern? They confirmed that it's coming, so now it's just a matter of, is it good? Will it be good? My first initial thoughts on Pokemon are is that it's going to have to be a fairly accessible game, being a new IP that's going to attract a younger crowd for the most part, I would think. However, people that like Pokemon could be as old as almost 50 now. I'll be 48 here in another month, and I played Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow as a kid. So it's not like that Pokemon hasn't been around. It's been around forever. So a lot of love. Welcome being here, man. I haven't seen you in so long streaming, but good to have you, man. And Billy Woods Mods. Howdy, folks. Hope you're doing well. Very good to see you, man. So yeah, Pokemon is going to be that thing. It is kind of interesting to see what they're going to come up with this. They did have some people invited to come up to Chicago to get a sneak peek of it. Mel Plays Pinball, if you're familiar with her on Facebook. I think she's out of the North Carolina area. She'd never been on the Stern tour, going to Chicago Expo and stuff, and they actually flew her up to get a sneak peek at the game and check it out. The theory or the rumor is that this is a George Gomez game, and it's based on some of the next rumors were that it was leaked. So this was found on Reddit, and I believe Skulljo, I think you brought this to my attention initially, so I really appreciate this in my Discord. I went and searched it out, and then started to dig into a little bit about this game, and it is very interesting to see some of what's here. What do you think of the cabinet? It's very and again, this is not confirmed. We don't know that this is true, but this is Betson is actually a distributor, apparently. It sounds like they're an international distributor is what I got, the gist that I got. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. But it is something interesting. I gotta say, I don't mind the cabinet so much. I think it's pretty reasonable. The one thing I will say is they tend to do a lot of red and yellow and orange and stuff like that. Whether it's Venom, King Kong, Godzilla, it doesn't seem to matter. Their puke artwork, and it's not that it's bad artwork, but they go so the artwork is so dense, if you know what I mean, when it comes to their pinball tables. I think that they could be a lot more simplistic. So if this is the case for Pokemon, I think this is a win. This is much more simplistic. It's going to attract more people for its clean art style. It covers basically the most popular Pokemon. You got your Squirtles, your Bulbasaurs, your Charmanders, your Pikachu, your Meowth. You got Raichu, you got Mewtwo, you got Gyarados, I think is the one. You've got, I mean, it's just got the basic Pokemon, and that's really good. I think what's interesting about this is it really only covers the original 150, or the 151, including Mewtwo. So it is a little interesting to see if this is the generation that they went with this. It does look like they have a center mech here, using Meowth as a kind of a center mech. And there does not appear to be any center post on this. So, being that this, to me, I think needs to be an accessible game, this will be interesting to see whether or not this thing is going to have a pretty generous ball save or not. There are a lot of really cool elements in this table, I will say. Going to be interesting if Stern comes down on Benson for the league. Yeah, you're not wrong, Skull Joe. It's very interesting to see that. Ryan Gong, welcome to the stream, man. Human, I did see you as well. Thank you for being here. So this is going to be interesting. Although, if you looked on Facebook today, a guy actually took the Transformers 2011 playfield and overlaid it right over top of this, and they are very, very similar. So, it is kind of interesting. There's a lot of elements here from other tables, which is not uncommon, quite frankly, but there's a lot of things that are very much in common with Transformers 2011. So, obviously, that would lead into the rumor that it is, in fact, a George Gomez as opposed to a Jack Danger or something like that. Jack Danger has much more radical shots, if you will, whereas George Gomez is a little more conservative. And he's done some home editions as well as Jack Danger. But this one has some cool elements. It has kind of this element of that you've seen at by the left flipper here. It's basically what you get on Creature from the Black Lagoon. You got that kind of that scoop that you get, or that spiral that you get from Taxi or Creature from the Black Lagoon. We just seen it more recently with Fall of the Empire, so that's there. I don't know. We'll see. I think I don't mind the layout here. If this is in fact the layout, I'm actually cool with it. This is a basic fan layout. It could be very accessible to kids. This is what you want. It's colorful. It's bright. It doesn't look overly complex. I think this could work really, really well. And if it does in fact have Insider connected and have some type of trading available for trading Pokemon and things like that, I think they could really be a win with this. So that is Pokemon. What do you guys think of the layout? Is it something that you're interested in? Is this a table that would be worth $8, $10, $12,000 to people? I don't know. That remains to be seen. Someone needs to adjust the AI person's resolution and color. Yeah, I know. And this very well could be AI. That's the one thing. We don't know for sure if this is in fact the case. If it is, we'll see. If it's more radical than this and it's more top third heavy, kind of like Harry Potter is, I wouldn't be shocked. But if this is the case, I mean, I wouldn't be too heartbroken, quite frankly. I'm more interested in Transformers, which is rumored to come later. We'll see what that one's all about. And if that is a Jack Danger table, that could be much more interesting. So we'll see. The biggest one that I'm interested in, of course, is Steve Ritchie. He's my favorite. King of Flow and Three Flipper Designs for Sonic the Hedgehog. So I'm really interested to see what happens there. But that is the case for Pokemon. Alright, with that out of the way, we need to kind of transition. And we're going to transition quickly tonight because we got a lot to talk about. So, my stream looks funky tonight. I'm sorry. I think it was probably the yellow because I was reflecting yellow onto my screen. So I probably looked like I was very sick there for a minute. So I apologize for that. I wouldn't shock. Yeah, you're probably talking about the resolution. Yeah, okay. That's probably what you're referring to. Yes, the yellow screen that you've seen was directly in front of me, and so I will get some very weird reflections sometimes, so I apologize for that. You will definitely see that on this channel. Okay, next up we're going to talk about AI Slop. And AI Slop can refer to a lot of different things. We're going to cover that in a little more depth for digital pinball, but we still have some real pinball AI slot to talk about too. We've talked about this before. It's been a hot minute. But The Walking Dead actually had some AI slop to it. And so this digital pinball is not the only pinball affected by this. We've seen this once before, and I'll kind of prove this once again. We're going to edit this. We're going to pull up a quick marker, and we are going to mark this thing up real briefly. So this is The Walking Dead, and as you can see here, this table, this is the remastered version that just came out just before Christmas. Was it before Christmas? Seemed like it was pretty late in the year. But you'll see right here, this guy here, remember The Walking Dead? The same guy right here. And then you got the same guy right here. So this is kind of the same thing, man. We're going to get some AI slop here and there and everywhere, it looks like. And it's not just Zachariah. So we can't throw Zachariah under the bus necessarily because it's coming from everywhere. We'll see if this is going to continue to be a thing. I don't have any problem with designers and teams using AI as a fill or a kind of a way to explore graphical ideas and things like that, or to use it as fill art for things in the background. But it is interesting, and it is pretty dangerous when you do not start to have somebody, an actual artist, crafting how these elements go together and how they're configured. So we're going to talk about this a little more in depth when we start to talk about digital pinball, which is where we're going to go next. So hold tight. If you're the real pinball crowd, that is all I have for real pinball this week. There wasn't a ton of news coming out of pinball at the beach, which I expected there to be a lot more, other than Beetlejuice. From what I understand, there was like 12 machines of Beetlejuice there. And even still, this is not a very big show, by the way. They still were about 3 to 6 people deep on every single table of Beetlejuice. So it is a hit. They are already sold out. And the biggest thing I had seen about that whole conversation was somebody was like, would you trade a Medieval Madness or a Beetlejuice if you were in the real pinball space? And for me, I was like, absolutely not. I would not trade a Medieval Madness for a Beetlejuice. I think there's an element of FOMO there, that people, if you didn't already get your Beetlejuice, you're kind of going to be out of it. The thing is, it will appeal to more people than the Evil Dead 3 did, and yet that one did really, really well, and is still pushing $15,000 in some cases for that table. So it is what it is, man. Interesting to talk about for sure. But with that, we can get into the more of the AI slop that we see for digital pinball. So this first one we talked about, this has been out for a couple weeks now. We've talked about it ad nauseum, quite frankly. This is a post that I got from Billy Woods Mods. I know you're listening, so I apologize that you can't see this, but this is the post that you sent to me in my Discord, where you said, you asked AI, ChatGPT, you took 2 images from the Clown Deluxe, and you threw them into the hopper, and you said, hey, can you swap the scariest clown face with the first image with the more kinder, more friendly version in the second? And within seconds, you were able to swap it out with the cutesy clown to the background image for the back glass. Now, this is not an At Games issue. Although we gave At Games a bunch of grief for this, and I actually dissed their table for it, this is not an At Games issue. This is a Zachariah pinball issue. So they are definitely dealing with some of that for sure. All of that stuff has to be considered when they're looking at this stuff. But this is the kind of slop that we're starting to see. Mismatched theming and stuff like that has been a problem. We've seen bigger problems too, and so we're going to cover some of those as well. Next up, look at this gem. This is the old version of Red Show. So this has been around for a long time. This is nothing new. And this table actually, you can see the fingers, of course. The fingers are always the problem with AI. Now this is pretty generic artwork, quite frankly. And they had to come up with, every single table is filled with it. I know. Anthony, you are absolutely right. And thank you for being here, man. I don't know that I've seen you here before, so welcome to the stream, man. Good to have you. Great community. But yeah, AI is absolutely penetrating our society right now as far as our graphics, our knowledge base, our documents, our speech, everything. AI is taking over, and I don't think it's a good thing. So this is another example. So this is the Red Show Deluxe is current version on At Games of the DMD. And look at this woman's hand in comparison to the size of her face. That hand is very, very small. It almost looks like it's completely backwards. It's just very goofy. We see this a lot, quite frankly. Second time, great content. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate that. Good to have you, man. So yeah, this is another example of something where, I don't mind if you use the AI to start things, but you need to craft what the results are. You can't just go with it, right? Next up, Supersonic Deluxe. We talked about this one ad nauseum. I criticized them heavily for this. This is a supersonic jet, which is really cool. I love the theming. It's kind of a Team Top Gun. We've talked about that. However, it's missing a wing, folks. Like, what are we doing? It's missing a wing, and some people have told me that this is a perspective thing. No, this is not a perspective thing. When you look at this thing, it is not accurate, and there's nothing you can do to make this thing look accurate from a perspective. So it's just not accurate, and it's disappointing. And this is not the only case. I'm going to jump over to the playfield just for a quick second here. We're going to look at horizontal reviews, and here we are. This is Space Shuttle. This is an older game, and I'm going to quickly flip. If you look at that plane, look at the two engines on the right wing versus the two engines on the left wing. That's AI too. It's everywhere. You are not kidding, man. You've never noticed the wing missing. See, it's absolutely absurd. And it's everywhere. So this is Supersonic Deluxe, and this is a table that looks really cool, plays really cool, mind you. If you go to Supersonic Deluxe on the table itself, let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Of course I can. Let's do this. Horizontal reviews. Here's the actual playfield, and you can see they try to mask it as much as they can. But again, they just miss out everywhere they can get. It's missing a wing, folks. Like, how can you not see this? Easily fixable, which is the most frustrating part. Absolutely, man. It is so infuriating. So, AI slop is a thing, and we got a lot more examples. So, let's keep flying, man. Literally. Pun intended. This is the brand new release, Tropical EM Plus. This is the one where it looks like she has a face hugger for a hand. Billy Woods Mod is set down in the bottom right-hand corner here. I apologize, I can't get my thing to work. I usually have that little spotlight here. But again, here, we'll just color it the old-fashioned way. We'll mark this sucker up. So this is another one right here. Look at this right here. I mean, this is really bad, folks. That finger looks like it's just been absolutely mangled. Very Megan Fox-ish. And it's not the only case. We've seen a lot of different instances of this, quite frankly. And even this, look at right here. AI erase, AI background. I mean, AI's everywhere. We absolutely cannot escape it. Next up, again, Tropical EM Plus. We just talked about a lot of these. If you were to zoom in on this one, this woman has 6 toes. See if I can show this. This woman has 6 toes. If you look at it real close, you'll see a thumb or a toe, a big toe, and then she has 5 additional toes. So, okay, sure, this is covered up on the game on the playfield. If you were to look at it, Tropical EM Plus. If you were to look on the playfield, sure, you're not going to see this. It's covered up. It's completely buried under the flippers and all that stuff. You're not going to see it. But, I mean, in the marketing materials, this is stuff that they need to start covering up or managing in some capacity. We can have both. They just need to pay more attention. Absolutely. Quantity over quality. Anthony, you're so right, man. And this is what I'm talking about. I really want to see, we need to put the pressure back on Zachariah to say, look, if you're going to do this, that's totally fine, but you need to start being a little more creative and looking over this stuff a lot better than you have. Hey, man, they're not being inclusive. Not everyone has 10 fingers and 10 toes. Tomato Grass, you are so right, man. You're so right. They're very much inclusive, and this guy, his left hand is basically a foot. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, what is that? That's not a hand. That's not a hand, folks. I mean, I don't know, dude. it's just this stuff that just is infuriating to me. And I don't know what's going on, but every one of their elbows and knees is pure red, like they've been bruised and beaten pretty badly at the joints. I'm not sure what this is about. You can see this here again. Mark it up again. Like, what is going on here? Look at here. Both her knees, both his knees, this elbow, they're all just look like they've been bleeding and they got sores. So I don't know what's going on. Some of this stuff just needs to be cleaned up. And it's super frustrating to not have this stuff looked at. The position of that volleyball is strategic, I think, because they wanted to cover up that hand. But they could have done a better job than what they did even. So she's got eczema, right? We're being inclusive. Well, just like Tomato Grass said, that's wonderful. But not that dude screwed up hand. Hey, Soggy, we were just wondering where you were. Soggy, he made it. Late to the party, was out of town. Glad it's pinball time. Good to have you, man. Next up, let's talk about this guy. Now, this is not AI Slop. This is a good example of AI usage. This is Alex. Who got to meet Alex this week? This was pretty cool, actually. Now, funeral's out of town. I'm sorry to hear that, man. It's always a downer when you see your family not so often, and then when you do, it's always a funeral, seems like. So it sucks for sure. But yeah, red sore knees. Geesh, that's awful. Still, the game is fun. I prefer that art on bad or broken table. You're not wrong, man. Wingo, you're so right on that. So yeah, this is Alex. We had a really good instance of this. We're going to pull this up real quick. I think this was a really cool indication of things to come. And Alex did a really nice job, quite frankly.
Welcome, Flipper friends, to everyone who competed in Season 1, and to those joining us for the very first time. Welcome to the first
Not bad, right?
Pinball
He does a nice job.
DPWR competitive recap show. I'm Alex, and each week we'll be breaking down the flips.
Now, the only thing that's interesting about this particular video is that sometimes you'll see the emotion just kind of drop out of his face, and that's the only time where you go, oh yeah, I think we all know it's AI, but this is going to be weekly. Pinball Wizard actually corrected me on this. I thought this was going to be just a season thing. It is not the case. They're going to be doing updates weekly on how we are doing in Flipper Friends. Now, it's going to take a few weeks to get a cadence going and get it a particular time frame and all that, so there might be some bugs to work out. But this is kind of cool. So Alex is a thing. He did some awards. You got Season 1, Med Ben Han was the #1, and they give you some statistics about it. Tomato Grass were claimed more than once, so that was really cool. And Anthony Manka, welcome to Connect, man. I appreciate you, man. It looks like he's a newly crowned member, so that is really cool to see, Anthony. I appreciate you, man. I didn't catch that earlier, so good to have you, man. Even if the DPWR video is AI, I thought it was a really cool way to showcase Flipper Friends. Sagi, you're absolutely right, man. And you got Cicero, Skull Joe, Sacro, there was all kinds of stuff. But the most important one is right here, folks.
Reminder award goes to RetroTech.
Hey!
13 weeks, no breaks, no missed events. Pure dedication to the pinball craft.
Pure dedication to the pinball craft. So I thought that was interesting. It did not say I was good, like I said in my short. But it did say I was very consistent. So I thought that was funny. I did talk to At Games just briefly about this, and they did confirm they did not prompt any of this. So even though I am somewhat connected to them in some capacity, that was completely AI that picked that out. So I don't know if I was the only person that competed every week or not, but it's not like they added me. That was literally just a thing that it popped out of AI. So for whatever reason, it was there. And he pronounced Med Ben Han's name right. I think for the most part, I think most of the names were pronounced correctly. I don't think anybody was wrong. So it was really cool to see. And yeah, definitely. Thank you, Pinball Wizard, for posting that. At the Discord, we talk about all this stuff all the time, so there's a lot of good stuff. He does have a dent in his head on the right temple. You know, my wife has a divot in her forehead too, so it is what it is, man. again, we're being inclusive, but this was really cool. I think Alex did a really nice job here, and it's really funny. I actually did ask at Games if I could interview Alex, and they laughed at me, so that was not going to be a thing. AI is wondering whether or not RTX has a life. You're not wrong, Billy Wood Mods. I do my best to compete in this stuff every single week and provide you guys content in the form of the show, as far as and all of that other stuff. So yes, that was just one more really cool thing that we've seen this week. But Alex, I thought was really well done. I think there are good use cases for AI, and then there are bad ones. So we'll look at a couple more. This is Shooting the Rapids Deluxe. And this guy in the back, I mean, these guys look pretty legit, right? The first three guys in the canoe, but the guy in the back here has a goatee and looks like an Under Armour shirt. I don't know who said this when it came out, but I didn't even notice this. And I want to say somebody in my Discord had mentioned it, and it was like, dude, he looks like he's wearing an Under Armour shirt and he's got a goatee. So, like, you're totally right, man. So these are the kind of things we're going to see. I thought it was funny. This is a case for a good case of AI, but it still has issues. This is the Red Show Deluxe that they replaced the old one with. So the one that we looked at before, the kind of the generic artwork, it has been replaced with this one. They could have Troy do it. He's been great for them in the RTX channel. Human, I appreciate you, man. If I had to do it every week, I still think I would do it. If it's just a script that I have to read, I could totally do it. I would have a lot of fun doing that. The Under Armour shirt looks like it's half shirt to boot, and the position of his hand is a little off. Yeah, I mean, it does look like it's a crop. He's got it like up. I don't know what's going on. That shirt is definitely something's not right there. But yeah, so this Red Show one, even this one's pretty good, right? I think for the most part, I think all three of these women are pretty attractive. This is the kind of girl band that you would expect to see nowadays. But even still, look at this girl's thumb. Do you see this girl's thumb? That thumb is a little weird. That's a Megan Fox thumb too. So even a good image of AI Slot still has issues to it. I had mentioned this way back, so it was you, Chalada Love. I knew somebody had mentioned it. Thank you for pointing that out. I knew it was one of you guys. I couldn't remember who said it. The only other player to get number one more than once, and then was Spartacus, hit number one twice. All right then. Yeah, I know, tomato grass. I don't think they were completely right on all that stuff, but. And then Dennis Mango says, I'd rather have them put time into something else than AI recaps like customer service, or fixing other issues, or creating a newsletter, keeping up to date what's going on. Yeah, Dennis, that's reasonable for sure. And then Steven, welcome to the show as well, man. I see you got the fish and the popcorn, so that's good to go. Yeah, the nail's all wacky. She has a thumb. Yeah, she does have. That's a very long thumb, or she just has very long, slender fingers. Proportionally, it's pretty big. So, but otherwise, I mean, this is a good use of AI art. Again, I think this is very attractive. This is on the playfield on Zachariah. These have not come to At Games yet. I'm still holding out hope that they are coming to At Games. I should probably see about getting some confirmation on that. I would like to see them confirm that. I want to say they didn't they? I have to double check. So definitely that's something to consider. But yeah, AI slop is a thing. What are your guys' take on it? We've covered the good, the bad, and frankly the ugly of AI slop. But this is not something to hit At Games with. I think for the most part the AI or the At Games original games have been crafted a whole lot better. And those are still done by Magic Pixel and or Zachariah Pinball. It's the same design house that's actually doing the creation of the tables and the modeling and the artwork and all that. So we need to continue to hit them up and ask for some artist to double check their work, clean the things up that are bad, and just make sure that it fits and it works with the theme. The demon clown thing just should not have happened. Go one way or the other. A supersonic cool jet missing a wing is just unacceptable. And fingers and toes, we know with AI is just kind of a bad thing for sure. There are good uses for AI. Here's another one that I particularly liked this week. This was one that I did the prompt for. I asked ChatGPT to make a caricature of me knowing everything it knows about me. And it's funny, it knew that I was a cat daddy, that I was doing streaming of pinball stuff because I used it to help me figure out camera settings and things for Streamlabs. And actually, the funny thing is this LR4 in the bottom left here with this robotic cat is referring to the Litter Robot 4 that I have in my house because I was having some issues with it. But otherwise, I think this caricature is incredibly accurate to who I am as a person. It has better teeth than I do, but it is what it is. But I thought this was a really good use of AI. So anyway, thought that was really cool. The girl's hand on the bottom of the guitar looks like something you'd see out of Terminator. Yes, I know. Like, it doesn't matter, man. Nothing looks quite right. And, you know, there's reasons for some of this to be what they are, and then there's not reasons for some that need to be what they are. But it's all over the place, and it's here to stay. Quite frankly, guys, it's not going anywhere, and that's maybe the saddest part of all of this. Is that AI is only going. Hopefully, AI gets better and not just more prevalent. So we'll see. All right. Next up, we had some big announcement this week. So probably the biggest one that we can talk about is At Games. So At Games posted this on their Facebook this week, kind of laying out the release schedule for at least the Magic Pixel games coming to the At Games ecosystem for the next basically 6 months, or the first Q1 and Q2 at least. Prediction from Leon says AI Slop tomorrow. EM Plus pack and the Deluxe pack. Okay, we'll see. That would be interesting. I'd be happy to see it. Liked from both of my accounts and sub to. Thanks for the reminder, PBW. Come on, thank you for that. And again, Pinball Wizard, you're awesome, man. Reminding people to like it. Tomato Grass says using AI for artwork is forgivable if they spend the time and money saving, making the game design, rule set, etc. amazing. They also are lacking. It comes off as lazy. You are not wrong. And just to that point, Tomato Grass, I want to make sure that I say this properly, but they did do a poll in their Zachariah Discord this week asking what people would pay if they did more complex games. So I think they are definitely considering what it would look like to take more time, more resources to do stronger rule sets and be more Zen-like, if you will. Zen Originals has done a really good job of doing crafting rule sets that are very well done. They're graphically very good. They utilize graphical elements a lot more than a traditional table, no, certainly a lot more than the current Zachariah tables. They've been pumping out tables, it seems like at least a table a month, sometimes two a month. So there has been some quantity over quality for sure. And I think they're going to start to rethink some of that. So definitely if you're in their Discord, be vocal, be honest about it and say, yes, if you're willing. If you're not willing to pay the extra money to have those things, then this is what we're going to continue to get. So I, for one, would definitely pay more money. I would pay $10, $15, and I think people did say pretty quickly that they would pay $10 for a more crafted rule set, more crafted tables with more ramps, more shots, more cool shots. There is some stuff out there for sure that has some really good stuff. I'm going to divert just for a quick second to Tomato Grass's point, is that if you look at some of the newer tables that we've gotten from the Deluxe series, they have been a little more complex and they have been a little bit better rule set, but they still tend to do rollovers and slingshots and stuff like that. I will say Aerobatics Deluxe, this game down here, it came out probably November-ish, has some incredible shots to it that I had never seen before. in any Zaccaria table. They have that broken loop shot, and there's some really, really good shots here that they are starting to do. So I'm really excited for the future. I hope that they go that route and continue to go that route and do more with it. But and all the cheapskates said $10 is max. I know, and that's the thing. You're absolutely right, Leon. People don't want to pay as much as they do, but we'll see. Um, yeah. This is the list of tables, by the way, that have not come to Hack Games as of yet. Pinball Champ Deluxe, for whatever reason, is kind of lost to the ether. And then Granada Deluxe, Time Machine Deluxe, Star Phoenix Deluxe, Devil Riders, Aerobatics, Winter Sports, which is the greatest game ever with the callouts, and Locomotion Deluxe, which just came out. So these are the games that are currently not available. Not available for At Games, but we have to believe they're going to be coming at some point. Show me what you can do for a $30 table. You know, Leon, I would love to see what they would do with that. I would be curious, like for the Vikings table, for example. They did a really cool Vikings table where you can kind of alter everything on Zaccaria Pinball. I would love to see that in At Games and have some way to be able to, like, you can swap out all elements and make the table kind of your own. It's still an AI generated playfield stuff, but it's still pretty cool. We should get good tables for $8. Well, remember, they're not $8 on Zaccaria Pinball. They're only about $5 on Zaccaria Pinball. So they're being upcharged on At Games for the sake of sound effects kit and things like that. And I guess a premium experience because of those things remains to be seen. It's fine line though. Deluxe went too far with ramps and flippers while still lacking any depth in rule sets. Tomato Grass, you're right. Legend Odin says AI would make sense if they made a Terminator table. True to that point. Any news from At Games in regards to Zen Studios on upcoming games? Notably, no mention of Fallout table released alongside with the Pinball FX. So we don't know what the relationship is going forward. I know that there are still Zen games coming. I've confirmed that there are more coming. They've told me 3 times, and I know for a fact that one in particular is slated for release. The release date is not locked in yet, but it is coming. So they are coming, and they are coming to the 4KP currently. Nothing yet for the HDP, so I'm not sure what's going on there yet. I'm sure there's some type of negotiations or something. Legal jargon, I'm thinking at this point. Dennis says he loves the Vikings table with the swap out arts and customization. I do too. It's a great table. They can release a $30 premiere table as a test. Take the time, make it great. They may be surprised how people would play for a premium price for a premium experience. Soggy Bacon, you are right. Absolutely right, man. And I think there's definitely a use case for that. Can you imagine if they did first of all, if they got an IP like a Doom or a Fallout or a Skyrim and actually did a Zaccaria crafted table, I think it would be fantastic. So there's definitely a use case for that. I would love to see it. It certainly makes me apathetic to the fact that I would really love to see some of that stuff, and I just don't see it as of yet. Chris Zimmerman, sorry I missed your chat there, man. Bill's Retro Gaming Show said that we might get a Zen table this month. He's right. So there is, I know that there's one slated to come this month. The release date, I have a release date for it, but I don't know if they're going to keep it. We'll see. I don't know. I can't confirm that. Can't confirm nor deny, but there is one slated to come this month. So we'll see. And you can pretty easily surmise what that is. We've kind of known for a while that it was probably going to be either Earthshaker or Wrath of the Elder Gods. I have to believe it's Earthshaker, but at any rate. The thing is, you gave me a really good segue there because we got to talk about the stuff that's not coming to At Games, at least not yet. Want one RTX? Drop a hint at least. What one? Come on, you already know. So we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the fact of what Zen Studios is releasing tomorrow on VR and, well, basically every other platform except At Games. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to come to At Games. We just know that it hasn't been announced for At Games. So, this is Skyrim. So, Skyrim is a pretty cool table, and we're going to go into this more in detail. Here's Doom. Just a quick screen. So these are taken from their Instagram and their Facebook accounts, and then Fallout. But we can do better than that, can't we, folks? Yes, we can. We can jump over to Pinball FX, and we can look at the actual tables, and we can show what they actually look like. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick gander at these tables. I can give you a little bit of an insight into kind of how the tables look and feel. And again, I think these are going to be fantastic additions to the VR library. I really would love to see these on At Games. Whether or not it happens or not is entirely up to them. But just because they weren't announced yet doesn't mean that we won't get them. It just means that we don't have them as of yet. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. It doesn't mean that we'll get them, like I said. But this is Fallout. Obviously, I don't have these purchased, but we'll be able to fly around and take a look at the tables. This is Fallout. This is probably the weakest of the 3 games that is coming out. And there it is. So this is Fallout. So this is a game, this game is very slow and kind of methodical. There's a shop that kind of holds down, the Pit Boy actually holds this game back, which is kind of a shame. I could plunge this and just give you a taste of it for sure. But yeah, this game is not all that fun. Sadly, it's a 3-flipper game that doesn't have a very good skill set or a very good rule shot. The orbit doesn't even hit the 3rd flipper on the right-hand side here, so there's some stuff going on there. It's just not a great table. So this one you guys might be a little disappointed in, but it is what it is. So that's Fallout. Next up, we'll go to Doom, which is probably the best of the 3. This table I love in particular. I think on VR, even on the At Game system, this would look fantastic. The color shifts that you get on this table are incredible. And I think they do a really good job of displaying what you could expect from a table like this. But yes, this is a really fun table. It is has some really cool missions. Here you can see the kind of the color shift that takes place. This is a really basic one. But some of these elements would just be really cool. And I would love to see them zoom into stuff like this that we don't get on At Games on any of the tables. They've locked them to things like the cabinet mode, and so you only really get the cabinet view. Whereas some of these have some really cool modes and stuff that you would actually be able to see in a very different way. So that is Doom. And then lastly, we have Skyrim, which is very story-based, kind of like the game. And what's great about it is that you play this one kind of by yourself, and it's progressive. So every time you come to this game, it's going to be a little bit different every time.
You're finally awake. Who are you?
The famous line, right?
It's a bad time to come on to Skyrim. Skill shot. What kind of idiot is that? Dragon.
Tell me that wouldn't be cool on an At Game system.
Try to avoid his.
Can you imagine having a dragon fly over the table and drop flames like that? That would be awesome. Now, granted, it might be a performance issue. We've seen performance issues. We've seen issues with audio. We've seen issues in a lot of different ways. But man, this would be cool. Let me tell you. Skyrim. So this has, you create a character, you have to equip things. For example, if you hold down the flippers, you actually get into a menu where it actually forces you to equip your items, use items, all kinds of good stuff. So there are some really cool elements to this table. Would this be one that I would love to have on At Games? Absolutely. You could say, hey, chest of weapons, I want to keep a sword, and that's going to affect a lot of the things that are going to happen throughout the game. So that is Skyrim. So those games, as of now, are not coming to At Games. Now, does that mean they won't come at all? Probably, but I don't know. It's really interesting to see, for sure. It's just odd that it's releasing on every platform except At Games. You are absolutely right, and you have every reason to worry. I think that they're going to maybe restructure or consider a schedule that works for At Games. They did release a schedule of Magic Pixel, and that's probably good because they know they can meet that. Most of the games that they're talking about being released, we'll go back to that. The games that are being released here are games that we've already seen for the most part. The ones that we didn't already know prior to this release was Police Street Patrol, which is probably the biggest one. It's most exciting to me. It's part of that First Responder series that we got with Firefighter Wildlands was the first one up, and these are Scott Sheldon designed games who we did the interview with. You know for a fact that he likes to craft rule sets and do modes and he's worried about balancing things and things like that. So I think these tables are all going to be really good. Police Street Patrol I think is going to be a super exciting game. I'm really excited for that one. Dinosaur Dynasty 3 Sky Titans. This one could be interesting. We've had some really good Dinosaur Dynasty tables. And he designed this one as well. So he did not design the other ones as far as I know. I think maybe he had some say on some of Natural History Pack 3, but I don't think he did anything on Pack 2. I think those were strictly done by Magic Pixel. So it will be interesting to see what happens with Dinosaur Dynasty 3. I'd rather have them delay a release than release it broken, Human. Yep, that's true. I'm with you there. I love character building in Skyrim, makes it more fun to play. Soggy Bacon, I'm just starting to get into it. I've started to play it quite a bit on Switch 2 and started to really dig it. Really excited for it. And I'll show you how I play it here in a minute. I've been playing on the X Arcade with a Switch 2. Then Anthony says, Zen Studios warned At Games pre-launch that the Rock Chip 3588 chipset was underpowered for their demanding tables, falling to a 50 to 60 FPS consistency. Yes, and that has been played out as an issue. I will say that everything that I've played on the HDP has been snappier than it is on the 4KP. I have not been able to measure latency yet, but I can tell you I think the latency is definitely better. 6 of the 8 people that have played my HDP have all said that Turtles play better on the HDP than it did on the 4KP. So you can take that for what it's worth. It's not very scientific. But they all felt it played better. They all said it looked better on the 4KP. Nobody's questioning that, but they all said it played better on the HDP, which is the 1080p version with that same Rock chip, that same 3588 chip. So it is interesting to see what will happen with that. These games I'm super excited for. It looks like next 2 weeks away we got Nautilus EM Plus coming. This one has not been released on Zaccaria yet, so hopefully they didn't screw up by announcing that yet. But I'm super excited for Nautilus. Nautilus, everything has been fantastic, so I don't know why this one would not be. So I'm super excited to see that. I think it's going to be a great game, quite honestly. So, alright. So those are some of the releases. So how have I been playing some of this stuff? This older stuff like Doom and Mandalorian and stuff like that? Well, this is the way I've been playing it as of late. I built myself a V-pin, kinda, so to speak. I had trouble with the dongle. I'm getting a power supply sent to me in the mail tomorrow. I received the dongle today and have not checked to see if it works yet, as of yet. But this is just a wall-mounted monitor mount, VESA mount with a 24-inch monitor. I may go with a 32 or even a 40-inch monitor in place of this and just move this further away from the wall. I apologize for the Windex bottle on the bottom. I was still in the process here. You can see wires strung across the HDP. Very much didn't even know if this was going to work. At this point, I was connected to my PC, and I later realized that I can connect to a Nintendo Switch even better, and it was fantastic. So this is kind of another picture of what it ended up being. But now I actually have a PS2, or I'm sorry, not a PS2. A Nintendo Switch 2 connected off to the side, and it works flawlessly. I did have an issue where it went into full tilt and just started randomly tilting. My light bar no longer works on the X Arcade, so there's all kinds of things not working with the X Arcade. I did get the shelf attachment now. Mecklenburg was nice enough to send me some 3D printed brackets, and so I've got that set up now. See if you can see that. You kind of see it in the background here. I've got the shelf right there, and then I've got that monitor kind of sitting on it right there. So that is what is in place right now. But yeah, I've been digging it. Being able to play FX3, Pinball FX, Pinball M, Zechariah Pinball, everything on that really well. Works great. Super easy. It's just like playing a Switch on a TV. Just turn it on. The haptics all work. Um, I think I got a dud or a lemon. I've had all kinds of issues, man. It's just been an absolute nightmare. Um, Nautilus will have a 9-armed octopus. That would be a beneficial deformity, but yes, you're excited to play it. Yeah, Soggy Bacon, I'm with you, man. Um, Part of that, though, is that they did abandon FX2, FX3 at the same time and moved over to Unreal Engine when the 14 was being developed. Billy Woods. So that's what I'm referring to. I know we've talked about it before on this channel, but Zen has not done a good job of optimizing their own games during their port conversions from their older versions. So this is not something that I'm shocked about, quite frankly. There's a lot of their own tables that they have not brought forward because of conversion issues. Like a lot of their Zen originals are on FX3, are not on FX2. So all of the Pashas and the Excaliburs and the Secrets of the Deep and Mars, and there's so many um, Earth Defense, Shaman, Eldorado. I mean, there's so many V12. There's so many great games back there that have not been pulled forward that could be if they had done their conversions a little better. But they were not using proprietary. They were using game engines, right? So now they're on Unreal 4, maybe Unreal Engine 5 now. And they're still continuing to have issues with that. So how do the haptics compare to the 4KP, Anthony? The haptics on the X Arcade they're more akin to just the exciters on the HG system, or if you don't have the sound effects kit. So obviously you only have everything's right in front of you, Anthony, instead of being, up to 2-3 feet away. So you don't have a lattice or a matrix or of sound. Whereas on the 4KP, you have tweeters and a subwoofer and all of that things. You don't have that on the X Arcade. You only have 2 speakers and some shakers, some vibration and stuff in there, and a little bit of solenoids and haptics. It's all right in front of you, so it does not translate the ball rolling around the table. It's not a 7.1 sound solution like the At Games version is, so it is not the same. But I will say, if you crank up the vibration on the X Arcade during a game like Getaway, when you start, just before you hit the start button, you hear that car rev up. It sounds awesome. You get the vibration. Sounds amazing. It does clip out though, because it's working really really hard to provide you with haptics and audio, but it can be pretty cool. Have you tried grounding it? I have a grounding cable, grounding loop. It did not work at all. So, but yeah, I've tried different things. X Arcade seems to think that it's a power supply issue, and so they've sent me a new one. So, and they're hoping that will take care of the squeal of the audio as well. We will see. I'm not really sure. Chris says, any news on the possible interview at Games customer service? My experience, like others, has been rough and very interested to get a peek behind the curtain there. I have talked to them a little more. I have to set that up yet. I do need to get in contact with their customer service rep directly. Because it is a third party, it's still on the docket for things to do, certainly. I did do a comprehensive look, and I'll give you a peek behind the curtain of what I've done so far. This is all of the metrics for all of the weeks that we've gotten them from the customer service since they started these. And so at some point we'll go through these a little more in depth, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about the metrics and what they mean. But there's some good information here for sure to kind of compare where things are. If you're interested in all those back to back, definitely go back to this video and snap a screenshot. You can kind of get an idea of what those all are. Or I can put all of those in my Discord as well if you guys are interested in the metrics for customer service. But yes, that is still on the docket. That's still going to happen. We just need to set it up. So it's coming. But yes, there are definitely some things there to talk about for sure. There has been some improvements. Some people have been starting to say that they've had a pretty good experience, but there's still obviously some outliers for sure where people have really struggled with that issue. So it's not we're not out of the woods yet, so to speak. But it is what it is. Next up, I want to talk about a V-pin that Gamer Fridge did when he's seen mine and was kind of inspired by me, quite frankly. I was pretty shocked by this, but don't get me started with that metrics. Metrics are complete BS. I know, Billy Woods Mod. There's been some issues for sure, so I'm not gonna candy coat it. Ad games need to get their crap together. We know. This one is from Gamer Fridge. So he's seen my wall-mounted monitor from my X Arcade, and he says, "Dude, He had something similar, and he's seen my idea and went the one step further. So he got the exact same wall mount as I did, and did this kind of a thing with it. So he's built a V-pin essentially the same way I did. Looks like he has this 24-inch monitor the same way I do, only he has a DMD and a back glass. So he'd be running through a PC for this. And he's basically running Pinball FX or FX3, probably FX3, I know is cabinet capable. And I know the new one is too. But so this is his modification, and it looks great. I think this is really cool. He could go with a bigger monitor, the same as I would consider, just to kind of fill out a little bit more above the X Arcade. But the 24-inch monitor is pretty good. You're standing right over it. It's pretty small. As long as you got a monitor with a pretty good viewing angle, it works really well in this flat orientation. I had to tip mine up a little bit at times just because the viewing angle on my older monitors and all that great. But I think this is a great setup. I mean, gives you V-pin capability. You can play just about anything in any of the libraries on the PC. And this is not just pinball. You could play anything vertical on this. You could go nuts playing vertical shooters like I like to, or there's lots of different options here. So Gamer Fridge, bravo, man. This was really cool. And Billy Woods Mods, this was in your channel on my Discord, so he was super excited about that. Good stuff, man. We love to see that types of things in this community. People starting, we've had a lot of people in my Discord as of recently who have bought the Ultra V-Pin. 3 people locally to me, sadly, has kind of depressed me, quite frankly. They've all been upgraded to like the $9,000 machine. It has full VPX on 6,000 tables. So luckily I can go to their house and play it, but Soggy Bacon says, I think it was Mad Ben that said he had a 50-inch wall-mounted monitor with an X Arcade. Would love to see that setup. Yeah, we need to get him to post that. Definitely, Soggy. We need to do that for sure. Billy, I thought that might get you riled up. Yeah, for sure, man. If you had a bad experience with At Games customer service, there is nothing that I can do, nor would I do, to make it less of a problem, because it is what it is, and they need to be fixed. We absolutely know it needs to be fixed. So, you know it, Billy was. Chris, for sure. All right, so we're gonna briefly talk about Flipper Friends. These are the winners for this last week. No surprise here. A lot of we did have one person very new to our Discord in here. This Roxman. I hope I said that right. This is Roman. I've seen him on Facebook, and he said he loved the channel. He'd watched like hundreds of my videos, and I invited him to the Discord, and sure enough, he showed up, and he competed in Daily Grind this last couple of days. So that was really cool to see. He actually won a $15 gift card. So congrats to Roxman or Roman. Ryan Bethesda was the big winner this week with $30 gift cards, which are still eligible to be used on the HD and Micro, but not on the 4KP and the HDP. They still haven't opened that up. The rumor is that they're trying to work on a way to use the gift card, at least online, to be able to purchase on device some capacity. They're still working on it, but I haven't got any confirmation about that necessarily. I heard that through Mox's Discord somewhere along the way, that they're working on some type of solution for that. Did that person use their UUID as a username? Probably. It sure looks like that, which is super sad, Human, because you really shouldn't do that. I have seen some people on the leaderboards that clearly got their system from Sam's Club, because they've got Sam's Club, and then like Sam's Club, store number, 785 or something like that. I've seen some of that too, so it's pretty funny. But yeah, usernames are kind of all over the place. I know Pinball Wizard even joked that he That was not intended to be his username, but it ended up being his username. So just kind of how it worked. So yeah, this week's Flipper Friends, we have 3 tables. Earth, Wind, Fire Deluxe, which I am not a huge fan of, but I am now 12th all time on that system, or on that game. I finally had a good game today, and so I'm very happy. Although the Phil Pal is down, so I'm gonna call it the Phil Pal, like Uncle Phil Pal. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna call it the Uncle Phil Pal from now on. It doesn't seem to be working, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't get it to work. Tropical EM Plus, this is a game I've covered ad nauseum. It's a pretty cool game. I still think I'm ninth on the back glass right now, and I'm still falling in the rank. I think I'm 5th in the rankings right now, believe it or not, for Flipper Friends. So it's a really good competition across the board. Skulljo, 6.7 million on that table. That's a grind, dude. That's definitely a grind. And then Winter Sports is another fun game, but it's another grind table. You really have to. Tomato Grass did a wonderful job talking about this table and giving a good tutorial on it yesterday. About how you light the bonus balls on the outlanes, hit the drop target to light the flashing bumpers, and then basically just rip the spinner until you get it to 1,000 by putting it in the capture hole at the top of the table. Flip Pal is working. It is now. It wasn't before. Interesting. Okay, so I will jump over and see if it works now because it did not before. I was having problems with it. So let's look at the old Uncle Phil Pal. Let's see. For me, it wasn't working. Yeah, see, it's still not working. Now, what's funny is it works for, oh wait, what the heck? Wait a minute. There's 2 of them now. Well, that's weird. Because I looked at this one and it wasn't working. So I was at the wrong one. Well, good to know. Very strange, but so I'm 8th now on Earth, Wind, Fire, so that actually helps. I've gone up a couple of points. I still need to work on Winter Sports, and that's going to be a freaking grind. But congratulations. Look at Tomato Grass back in the fray. Love to see this. Good to have you back, man. I know you just had a baby and you can't stay away. Great stream. Keep up the good work. Anthony, I appreciate you, man. I don't know if you're heading out, but good to have you, man. The Uncle Phil Pal is working, so that's good to know. I didn't realize that they had added another one here, so ticket closed for sure. And then the Nod tournament. So the Nod tournament is coming up starting tomorrow. By the way, I didn't post this, but the Nod actually starts a sale tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of games for up to 50% off starting tomorrow for Nod between the 12th and the 19th, I think it is. So definitely consider buying some tables if you don't already have them. It might be something that you want to do. I'm going to check real quick to see if there's a banner on that. I'm going to do this off screen because I cannot show you this stuff, but I think there is something for Nod, if I'm correct. Maybe. I know there's some stuff, banners and things like that. I don't see anything there. They're really slow. What's going on? So anyway, yes, there's a sale coming. I don't have anything for that either, unfortunately. So that is what it is. But yes, Phil Pal, Flip Pal, Uncle Phil Pal, whatever you want to call it. The Flip Al, all of that stuff is finally working, so that's good. Next up, we're going to jump into One Ball for Greatness. I think that went really, really well last week, and we can run through these pretty quickly. They were a lot of fun. We had some really good One Ball for Greatness last week. So I wanted to display some more of these. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. If you're not part of my Discord, you might not know it, but everybody is going to have a One Ball for Greatness and One Ball for Failure. It happens all the time. It is amazing. This is Bofji. When we did Tomb Raider, Adventures of Lara Croft the other day. Look at this. This is the epitome of the one ball for greatness. He had basically nothing on the first ball, literally nothing on the second. And the third ball, he basically beat two modes, which are basically 20 million apiece. Awesome. He had 44 million points on this table. This is a great score. To be able to beat two modes on Tomb Raider is legit. They're multi-tiered. A lot of them have at least 6 or 7 shots before you even get to a shooting zone for a lot of them. Really awesome. This is a really good score and one ball for greatness. Lofty, thank you for being vulnerable and posting this. Dennis B. So this was a good one here too. Now at the time, this was a backglass score. He actually beat my backglass score early on. He had 1 million on his first ball, 19,000 on the second. I know it's a little hard to read. And ended with 1.3 million points. So it's just kind of how it was. There's a lot of these this week. I know Tomato Grass has one too. I think this is Tomato Grass's. No, this is another Dennis B, I think. Where he had 55 million, 1.3, 13 million. I mean, this game was absolutely brutal for people. Java, this was on Tomb Raider Secrets of Croft Manor in VR. Ball won 204 million. Awesome ball. So, I mean, sadly, we don't get a ball breakdown in VR when you finish a game like you do on at games. So that's one benefit to having at games. But you're going to keep it going, the one ball thing. Yeah, I'm hoping to. We'll see how it goes, Human. If people continue to post them, we'll see how it goes. This was Java. He did another one here. We had 653 million points on Getaway yesterday. Talk about an amazing game. I just got my personal best where I think I just got over 704 million points. But this is one ball from Java. And I think he ended up in the 800 million range for this game. Super awesome. I still feel like I can get to 1 billion points on this. And I still feel like I haven't put together my best game yet. So Java, this was an awesome game. And one great ball for greatness, man. Leon, here's another one where he had a couple of pretty sad balls on EM Plus, man. That's another good example. A couple of small ones, and then he had a really big one at the end here, 716,000 points. So it's just kind of how it goes, man. Pinball Wizard was not immune either. A couple of terrible games. 125,000 points is not terrible for this game, but to be able to get a really good score in this, you need to be in the 500 to 700 million range, and theoretically even higher than that. You want to get into the million range if you're going to get competitive points for this on Flipper Friends. This was another one, 734 million, almost all the points, 600,000 of them all in the last ball. So I challenged most of you last week to do not reset, and I want to know how that went for some of you guys. Did you do well? Did you give up? Did you reset? How did it go? Did you find that you had better success? Did you learn anything? Put it in the chat. I'm curious. RTX, this was me. This was my attempt. This was a backglass score. This was 6th on the backglass at the time. It is now 9th currently. Nothing on my first ball, 28,000. Almost 1.7 million on my second ball, and 322,000 on my last. Terrible. And yet, this was 6th on the backglass at the time. It's 9th now. This is what you got to do on this table. You got to put it together. You got to have a one ball for greatness, and it was a lot of fun. STE the man in the man. STE in the man. I haven't seen him here tonight, but he's been in here before. He's in my Discord. He did the same thing. He did not reset. He resisted temptation. He said he did good. 52,000 on his first one, 104 on the second, and 1.9 million on that last ball. This, I believe, is a backglass score. Yes, it is. He is currently at 8th on the backglass. He didn't reset, and he was rewarded for it by the pinball gods. So I encourage you to please don't reset. Play it out. See how it goes. You never know when that great ball for greatness is. And you could be throwing away one of your best games of all time. Here's another one. This was Tomato Grass. So even the great Tomato Grass was not immune. So this was absolutely amazing. I never reset, but when I do, I don't admit it, Leon. I love it, man. This was Tomato Grass. 3.2 million points on that first ball. And then just absolutely fell on his face. And it's, sometimes it's these guys are so good, they just drain the next 2 or 3. I jokingly said, did he do that on this? And he's like, yeah, that's what I did. So he clearly fell apart. And it happens. It happens to the best of us. You never know when that great ball is going to happen. Just you get in the flow and you're nudging everything and everything seems to work. And then next thing you know, everything falls apart. I just did it on Earth, Wind, Fire tonight. I had two balls where I had 200 million each. My final ball, I had like 57,000 points. So I'm going to be posting it in the Discord shortly. But I had 2 balls for greatness on that game. But man, oh man, you never know where it is. So that was the 1 ball for greatness this week. What do you guys think, man? You never know when this is coming. It's just a lot of fun, quite frankly. Next up, let's talk a little bit about the daily grind, and then we'll reset the scores for the week. So if you're not part of the daily grind, I definitely encourage you to do so. We have a very spirited competition in my Discord every week, playing games on the Ant Games system, or at least capable on the Ant Games system. We play 2 games in VPX standalone, available on the 4KP, or you can play them on PC or a VPN of your choice. Either way, VPX in general, you can play it on PC. Any way you can play it, you can post those scores. We also do a VR table of the week. We only do 1 of those per week, however, because there's only so many games in VR. We're going to get 3 more this week, which is going to be really cool. So hopefully people will buy those games and we'll be able to compete on those as well. But yes, the daily grind is an awesome competition. Let's jump over to the scoreboard. We had a ton of people competing once again this week. Super excited with all the participation. Absolutely mega scores. Java with 284 million points on Party Zone. He made the mistake of anointing me or telling me to pick a Williams table, so I was forced to pick a Williams table, and I said, you know what, screw all of you. You're getting to play Party Zone, because no one else is going to pick Party Zone. So I did it, and you guys rose to the occasion and put up some mega scores. My score on Getaway, I tried and tried and tried. I got 705. This was my personal best on Getaway. It is literally my favorite game now. It is completely beaten Black Knight 2000. It is absolutely the best game. Being able to juggle and do multi-ball in that and try to go for super jackpots, it's so good. It is so good. And being a Steve Ritchie game, which I'm a huge fan of, absolutely awesome. You can see these mega scores across the board. There's a lot of scores on here that are actually backglass scores. And so if you want to compete with the best, and you want to compete on a level every single day with some of the best people in this community, my Discord has them in here. So it is absolutely incredible to see. I think there's 25 people currently in the zoom way out. So there was 25 people unique people that competed in this week's competition, whether it be from the Ant games, which were from Tropical EM Plus last week, The Thing, the Red Show Deluxe, which we've actually dove into this week, both Tomb Raiders, Getaway, and Party Zone. So we didn't do a lot of Magic Pixel tables this week, sadly, but we like to try to. It's pick your, whoever gets to pick gets to pick. So. And we can't have repeat winners pick tables, so everybody gets a chance to pick a table and play. So always good to see. I had a ton of fun on the daily grind this week. That's awesome to hear, man. I love hearing people enjoy it. We got a lot of new people this week. We got Lord Neat was a brand new person. We had what was the other guy? We've had so many good people that have showed up to these and really played well. Shaper was you didn't see him for a while, and then he's been playing left and right and doing really, really well, especially in the VPX versions. Played really well here, destroying us in WWF. Bogfeet continues to do really, really well. VR has been Jabba's wheelhouse, so he's been continually very competitive with that. Bally Durham's another really good one in VR. So again, lots of competition. And we even have, if you notice here, all the way to the right-hand side, real pinball as well, which goes for the entire month. So I know not everybody has access to a real pinball table all the time. So we do that for the entire month, and people will get to choose. Last month, Anthony Zazji actually got to one Medieval Madness and picked Cactus Canyon, which is really cool. So if you have access to Cactus Canyon, definitely post a score. That one will be up for the rest of the month. And then we'll pick a new table. But after tonight at 11 o'clock in 45 minutes, all of these tables will be wiped out. We'll have 2 new VPX tables, 1 more VR table, and then every day we'll have a brand new table for the at-game system. Or again, it doesn't have to be played on the at-game system, but it has to be available for the at-game system. So whether you play it on mobile, whether you play it on VR, whether you play it on any of the consoles, the PS5s, the Switches, any way you can play them, you can put your score in here for the data drive. So Soggy Bacon, Balshi, and Beckles were the top 3 overall scores for the week. And man, I tell you what, this competition continues to impress me and depress me at the same time. Like, you guys are so good. It makes me feel like a complete fraud to try to compete in my own tournaments. So it is what it is. Sometimes I can hold my own, and other times I just cannot. But it's awesome to see. And like I said, whether you're a winner or dead last, you still have an opportunity to pick a game every week, and you try to make it fun for everybody. So if you're struggling to play or something's not right about it, let me know, and we will make sure that you get an opportunity to pick a table, and we can all have some fun with it. So, all right, guys. With that, that is the show. Why no Cactus Canyon score from Pinball Wizard? We still need to get him in there before he's got to start get some scores on there for sure. It's got to happen. So hopefully we'll see Alex this week by the end of the week, giving us some more updates on the Digital Pinball World Rankings. So we'll see how those go this week. I'm really interested to see how that goes. I haven't got a chance to go there yet, Leon. Hopefully in a few days. That's awesome. So I'm hoping to play some Cactus Canyon as well. They do have it at a place near me in Brighton. So I'm hoping maybe I'll go this weekend. We'll see. Maybe next weekend. Actually, next weekend I'm helping my son move, so I won't be able to do it that weekend. Party Zone, here I come. See you on the Discord. Awesome, Human. Good luck. You're going to have to you got to have a good game if you're going to beat Java before 11. So give it hell. All right, guys. Well, thank you for showing up, watching this channel, and being part of this community. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And you only need one ball for greatness. Keep plunging, and we will see you next time, guys.